Hello, and welcome to our playthrough of Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Wasteland 2 is a I can't even say the word, post-apocalyptic turn-based tactics adventure sort of game. It's got, your typical Wasteland raiders, some junk and scavenging. It's got some futuristic, powerful robots, as you can see here from the home screen, and set in the, I believe, Arizona desert, which we'll see some more about it once we get into the game. I'm gonna go ahead and make the squad we're going to be playing with. We're in a desert area, and I had been thinking of a few different themes to go with for the squad. I finally came up with a good one, and you will see it in just a moment after I make it and with the power of editing. This is our squad. I figured we're in a desert area. Why not some people who used to live on a desert planet or have some experience there? We've got the New Hope Squad with Luke Skywalker being our fast, not exactly charismatic, using bladed weapons, a little bit of outdoorsman for being a farmer. In the story, he's a bit of a suck up, toast repair from working on the farm, and a little field medic. Then we've got Han Solo. He is our lucky, somewhat charismatic opportunist. Good with he's our rogue. He disarms alarms, lockpick, safe cracking, and good with the handguns and energy weapons. Figured energy weapons was good for our theme with the Star Wars crew here. Then we've got Chewbacca. He is our very strong, uh, somewhat coordinated mechanic using heavy weapons and brawling and brute force. Put demolitions on him and weaponsmithing. And then we have Leia Organa, who is our intelligent, charismatic leader with some decent coordination. Not strong, not very lucky, and not fast, but she's got leadership and perception. She's tough on everyone. Using energy weapons and a little bit of computer science, we may put some of the non-thematic skills later on, pick them up and put them in the companions you get in the game, and then Ammo Whisperer. So that is the crew. Let's start the story. We're going to put on Ranger mode. I'm not doing Supreme Jerk, but I have played the game before, and so I'm fine with it being a little bit on the tougher side. And we start off like any good story does. Well, with some static radio noises, I guess. You're going to hear a lot of radio static as we play through Wasteland 2. And a little bit of a warning. Well, we'll wait for the noises to die down here a bit. Might have to adjust the in-game audio. Alright.
What comes after the end? I don't know. Neither did they. They were just an Army engineer battalion, constructing roads and bridges deep in the middle of the Arizona nowhere. They didn't know why Armageddon had come. They'd heard radio chatter about an attack on some space-based missile platform. But who had attacked it, or why? No one knew. What they did know is that the politicians and the generals had finally ended the world. Now, everything was gone. They took over a federal prison for a fort, kicked out the convicts, got busy starting from scratch. Maybe it was an act of mercy. Maybe they figured that the prisoners would die out in the harsh new world. Whichever, it came back to bite the engineers in the ass. Cultists, criminals, cannibals. They've been living with the fallout ever since. Good people had survived too, called for help in the night. And those engineers, those common soldiers, could not stand by and see them die. So they came out of their fort, and they helped the survivors defend their homes. And for that, they earned a new name, a proud name, the Desert Rangers. Now, Rangers, I know at times it seems our cause is hopeless. And I know it's hard to say goodbye to a brother in arms. But I want you to know something else. That no Ranger who dies in the line of duty will ever be forgotten. Nor will he have ever died in vain or unavenged.
All right, so yes, we're starting off with a funeral for Ace. He was one of the Desert Rangers, and we are Desert Ranger recruits. Stiff-bearded older man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he is not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
I appreciate you coming to Captain Ace's retirement party when you hardly knew the man. Appropriate, too, seeing as how investigating his death will be your first duty as a Desert Ranger.
Right, how did Ace die, sir?
Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal. But sadly, Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen.
Right, you think the logbook was stolen?
No, but it wasn't on Ace's person when he was found. Look for it. It might have some clues as to his death.
Right, where are the radio
I'll give
towers?
you the locations of the towers once you have the repeaters in hand.
I mean,
More important to find them first.
you could just tell us.
When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal.
All right, signals
The
threat.
voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us.
All right, sure we're ready.
Yeah, I know. You've hardly found your feet with us, and here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 Ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now. Ranger teams Abel and Charlie are out west trying to stop a range war out there from becoming straight-up genocide. And Team Baker is up north looking for a way through the radiation that's cut us off from Vegas. I'm afraid the next generation is going to have to lead the charge on this one.
I mean, it seems there's a few Rangers still around base, but I guess their need for defense.
The mission is this. Search the area where Ace's body was found, and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Ace's death must be avenged, and it will be. But finding the signal he died trying to track down is just as important. Besides, I got the sneaking suspicion that when you find the one, you'll find the other. Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business.
Can we come in the Citadel?
Once you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, then you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger, and we won't let you in.
Gotcha. So we have 3 different options depending on what we want to go with. If we prove ourselves by kicking down the doors, please, if you're sending us after the killer, you've already decided we're worthy. And surely the success of the mission is more important than testing us. If you want to find these signals, you know, listen, so we can stock on everything we need to succeed.
Using logic on me, eh? Smartass. Logic and
I
observation
mean,
will change some folks' minds, and you can catch people in lies that way. But sometimes it only makes them mad, so be careful. In this case, you're right. I should let you in, but I got a feeling.
you're right, but I'm ignoring your being correct.
You have, and it's going to take adversity to tap them. So I'm sending you out undergunned and unprepared, just to see what it brings out of you. You'll thank me later.
It sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah, maybe once we're dead. All right.
It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map.
All right. So this is our map. We'd be doing that, a lot of that to navigate the Wasteland.
There you go.
Once we get out of local areas. All right.
Good luck out there, recruits.
Okay, so we're gonna zoom out a little bit. We want Leia to be the head person because we're gonna turn on her little perception circle. You need that to spot hidden things. I don't think there's any around here, but yeah, none over here. So just as a heads up, this game is not kid friendly or really safe for work. It's got a lot of adult themes, harsh language, and whatnot. I mean, most combat killing games, you know, towards combat. Right, so if you see that little like perception indicator thing, means there's something there that you can interact with. Yeah, just as a word of warning before you start watching, this game will have some voice acted lines. I try not to read out too much of the cursing just out loud, even in dialogue, just for sake in case there's, you know, more sensitive people watching and whatnot, and it's just not really my thing. But there's some voice acted lines that, you know, not getting around it, so just a heads up. Desert Ranger in scarred but spotless combat armor stands at attention before the doors of the Ranger Citadel. He gives you a friendly salute. Welcome to Ranger Citadel. Recruits, but the General ordered me not to let you in before you finish your first investigation. The General ordered us to tell you to let us in. Let us in? Ha, try and stop us. Talking tough, huh? Well, I won't get you through this door, but I like your chutzpah. Still, you might want... That's probably not the way to say that. Still, you might want a little bite to back of that bark of yours. Tell you what, I got a little toy that might help you. Interested? You bet. What is it? I call her the Mississippi Mule because she kicks like one. A double-barreled flintlock pistol that'll turn your enemies into a thin red paste, as long as they're within 10 feet of you. She was my go-to cow when I was out on patrol. Now I'm stuck here on door duty. She don't get much use. You can have her as long as you promise to put her to good use. Pretty sure that's a promise we can keep. Here you go. Treat her good and she'll do the same to you. So we got the Mississippi Mule. Move away from the door coming in whether you like it or not. No, we're not going to threaten him. Alright. And we've got Corporal Solvig Seffers. So before that, we're going to go ahead and look at our inventory. If I can remember how to hit the inventory button. Here we go. Yeah, so we got Luke. He was bladed weapons, so he starts with a knife. Bladed weapons, toaster repair, field medic, outdoorsman. Doesn't have any perks yet. And we need to go search near the radio tower. So this is a shotgun We don't have anybody using shotguns. We've got a phase blaster and a handgun. We have heavy weapons and some explosives and gloves. All this is because of what we picked as our uh, starting skills. That determines your starting inventory. So she just has the phase blaster and low dosage pain relievers. I think everybody gets these, and she got that because we chose energy weapons. He got these because we chose explosives, heavy weapons, and brawling. And this is pistols, energy weapons, and then this is bladed weapons and what's it called? Field medic. So that's our starting inventory. We can talk here. Kindly older woman, standard issue ranger garb. She seems occupied counting goods and organizing crates. Aside from the clothes, she's a picture of a loving grandmother. You could swear she smells faintly of fresh baked cookies. Well, hello, recruits. Welcome to Solvig Sundries. Happy to trade whenever you like. An honor to make your acquaintance. Always nice to see new faces around here. Pleasure to make sure they have everything they need before they head out into the big bad world. So you can outfit us? Well, with essentials as tough to find as they are, I can't give them away for free. Believe me, I wish I could, but we keep our prices as close to cost as we can for our rangers. You can stop by for the basics whenever you're in the area. Once you get clearance to enter the Citadel, you'll get access to some of our more valuable goodies. You have to talk to Sergeant Melson about that when you get inside. What's Sergeant Melson like? Oh, he's a great friend and a great quartermaster. We'll all be eating sand and wiping with cactus flowers without him. What about it? I love this place nowadays. It used to be full of some kooky birds back when I was younger. Fellas seemed to worship pre-war junk, even though they didn't know what it was. They wouldn't share none of it. Well, I shouldn't get too judgmental. I'm sure they thought they were doing right. Nice to meet you. What's your story? Oh, it's not so interesting. Grew up in a village near here. I was already a grandmother twice over when the Desert Rangers moved into the Citadel. Saw how much good the Rangers were doing, and I wasn't up to much with my children moved to other villages to start their own families. It was a little unconventional for an old lady to go through basic training, but I pulled my weight and earned my star. I mean, didn't look that old. May not be too useful in forward operations, but got a lot of experience keeping people well fed and well clothed. And I can run a drill press with the best of them. So General Vargas has me help Sergeant Melson run the supply, and I help Captain Mercaptain in the workshop now and again. Right, what's Captain Mercaptain like? Smartest person I've ever met, bar none. She can whip up laser beams and water purification systems like I whip up pies. Right, General Vargas, modern day Patton. He's got a mind for strategy and knows how to make the tough calls. But he's got a gentle side too. All right, what do you have to trade? All right, we get some armor. We have $50 worth of scrap. We could buy some armor. That's 125. We could buy some shoddy radiation suits. They're 200. We've got a bunch of other things that we could purchase, but these are all very expensive. The shovel is $6. We don't start with it. Oh, you know what? I think we can go pick up a shovel. Buy some TNT. I think we can go pick up a shovel. We can buy the Akita figurine. We don't have any junk to sell. Alright. Nothing for you today yet. I think we forgot one item back here. The shovel. We actually want our high perception first nav. Yep. Take all. And now there's certain areas. I'm glad I saw that. I completely forgot to pick up the shovel at the gravesite. So here is a water tank. You fill up your canteen, which you'll need.
Hey, Echo 1. Mind picking up that can over there for me? Think there's some water in there.
Alright, so before we pick it up, we're going to use Animal Whisperer on the goat. Failure, alright, well, it's an easy check. There we go. So we get a little perk of +1 awareness. Now we can pick the can up. But they're going to be a little unhappy
Did you actually think
because
I was serious about wanting that
if
can?
we hadn't animal
I
whispered the
just wanted
goat,
to hit you in the
the goat would have knocked us over if we, I think we would have taken 1 damage. So we go ahead and put the shovel here. And you can dig up these little piles of rocks and find some hidden, oh, always get that backwards, some hidden things in these little piles over here. Alright, just distribute all, get some junk, dig up some more supplies. This is another game where you're gonna need all the supplies you can find. You're scrounging. Whoops. I think that was the wrong. I'm gonna have to remember my keys. The different hotkeys in this. Alright, so this is Angel's Death. Tough-looking redhead with decades of sun and wind and hard living etched in her angular face stands sobbing in the shadows. You saw her Acer's retirement party. The sleeves of her uniform have been torn off, revealing multiple tattoos on her sinewy arms, all skulls. The tears running down her cheeks are splashing on a rusty old wrench she holds in her scarred hands.
Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits old Vargas trained up. Lord, y'all just babies.
You noticed that, huh? Well, Ace always said I wore my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, me and Ace, we were more than just old army buddies, if you know what I mean. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why I want to come with you.
You want to come with us? Alright, we're babies.
Sorry, but you are. As cute as little kittens. Y'all remind me of us. Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me. Back when we were just starting out. Thinking we were gonna save the world for the future. Thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry. Don't listen to me. Youth is good. Optimism is good. If we all started out worn out and jaded like me, nobody'd ever try to change the world. So you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time.
Maybe it'll work this time. Right, where's Thrasher
You better
now?
call him Gilbert now. Funny, back in the day, he just seemed like this big old growly bear. Strong as an ox and just about as articulate. But then he got all torn up during our fight with the robots from Base Cochise, and he couldn't go out on patrol no more.
So some of this stuff is referencing, I believe, the first game in the series, Wasteland, which is a much older game. Base Cochise is I guess, the boss base in that game, and it's fighting a bunch of robots.
Any other commander would have handed him his walk-in papers. But Vargas doesn't dump old friends. So he started him working in the museum. And once you know it, turns out the old bear has a knack for cartography. He's been gradually mapping our little corner of the wasteland ever since. Who'd have thunk it?
Right, yeah, so we'll go ahead and
An
go.
old military facility from before the war. And the biggest fight the Rangers ever had. There was some crazy computer in there that kept spitting out robots and sending them off to kill people. We had one hell of a fight putting it down. Earned our stripes that day. Literally. That's when I became Captain Death. Yeah. The Base Cochise AI. Don't know what was wrong with it. Broken, I guess. It thought everybody was its enemy. Wanted to kill the whole planet.
Well, the Hellraiser.
He's another one gone. Went out for a patrol a few weeks back and never came home. Don't know if he's dead or AWOL or gone off to join the Scorpions. All anybody knows is he hasn't called in, and we haven't heard from anybody who's seen him. I miss old Hellraiser like blazes. Didn't talk much. Didn't make friends easy. Wasn't big on social graces. But he was as loyal as they come. And when the shit started flying, he was the guy you wanted at your back. You didn't win that name by accident. Sharp as a razor. Scary as hell.
Join the
You
Scorpions.
were briefed on those fucks during your training? Well, let me fill you in. You know when we left the prison and moved here to the Citadel? Well, the Scorpions were the jerks who moved into the prison when we moved out. Just
Okay.
a bunch of rangers back then, but they've been getting more organized. Call themselves a militia now, and they try to act like they're the Desert Rangers of eastern Arizona. Well, that's a load of horse shit. The protection racket ain't the same as protecting people. They shake down all their towns for money, and if the locals don't kick in, they smash them up. The Rangers aren't like that. We get by on donations and good old-fashioned scavenging.
We're all about some good old-fashioned scavenging.
Basically everything between the prison and the radiation clouds to the east. There are a few small towns and farms out there, which the Scorpions claim is their territory. Rangers used to patrol that area before we moved here, and we knew it pretty well. But a lot can change in 15 years. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
not
it's all
likely.
as clean and nice and crime-free as the Scorpions say it is. But I've got my doubts.
Very unlikely. Alright.
Yep. He was one wild-ass son of a bitch back in the day. But I think the weight of his responsibilities has kind of squashed that out of him now. He hasn't been in a decent bar fight in, shit, a decade maybe?
Yeah, you kind of want to avoid breaking things, getting bruised. As you get older, you don't heal as
Better
fast.
than he'd like. Back in the day, the General was the craziest of us all. But somehow, after he brought down Base Cochise, he became the sanest. Now he's running the whole show and doing a damn fine job. While I'm still walking patrols and answering radio calls. Shows you how much ambition I got, huh?
Alright, radiation
Edges of the
clouds.
map, kiddies. Big hot areas we can't get into without getting cooked to a crisp. The clouds move around some with the wind and the weather, but there are permanent hot spots on every side of us. North, south, east, and west. Until we started hearing those weird broadcasts, I kind of thought those clouds went on forever. And that Arizona was the last place on Earth. But maybe there's more people out there. Maybe the whole rest of the world's just fine, and we're the only ones in hell. Wouldn't that be a joke?
It'd be an awful situation to be in.
Ace played me some of them before he died. Hard to make out a lot of it, but what I heard made my hair stand on end. Some guy talking about turning men into machines. Or machines into men, or some shit. But the crazy thing was, then he starts talking about us, the Rangers, saying we're the cause of all the trouble in the world, and we need to be wiped out so his glorious future can be born. I mean, who is this guy? Where is he? What the fuck does he have against us?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Someone outside of your area talking over the radio that you've never met before talking about you specifically.
They all hurt, but this one... Man, Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not first. He worked as a driver and mechanic for Farron Brygo up in Vegas. And when Base Cochise started sending its death machines into the desert, Brygo sent Ace south to recruit robot fighters. We met him in quartz. He'd pissed somebody off out there and they'd locked him up. We sorted that out, and he started running with us, helping us fight Cochise. Never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and the hat, but I don't think he ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's... God damn it, Ace. I knew this one was trouble. I knew it.
Right? You thought his mission was
He's
trouble?
working on the same thing Vargas has you working on. Trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edges of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me. Then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I asked him to let me come with him when I met him at Rail Nomads to give him the repeater units. But he told me to go back to base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts had spooked him. I should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him?
Where's Quartz?
Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher. He'd know.
Alright. What about the rail
In
nomads?
this little place, if the Atchisons and Topekans would kiss and make up. I can't even remember what it's all about. But between them, they got enough old railroad tech that if they worked together, they could give this area a real transportation system. instead. Seems like all they want to do is blow each other's heads off. Idiots.
Alright, anything else
I
about
don't
the
really know
repeater
the
units?
details. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo about transmitters and north-south axis and signals bouncing off the clouds. Ask Woodson about it. He's our radio genius.
Right, do you know what's in?
Radio technician Wade Woodson? Sure do. He's the guy that makes sure you can hear Vargas when you're out on patrol. Keeps the machines running and the signal clear. He'll also talk your ear off about circuits and frequencies and I don't know what else if you let him. But be nice to him. He's your lifeline to the base.
Alright.
Say, listen. Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset to be professional about it. He didn't want me going off half-cocked and shooting up all of Arizona looking for his killer. But I gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we've been fighting side by side for nigh on 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged. So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along and be in at the kill, well, I'll help you find your feet out there. Maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be old and slow, but I know the wastes like the back of my hand.
Alright, sure. So now we have our first companion. We've got Angela Death here.
No need to tell Vargas why I joined you. If anybody asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, all right?
Right. We needed some orientation. We are green, wet behind the ears, and in need of a lot of assistance. So these three are the characters that you can pick if you lose one of your starting characters. All right, we're looking for more things to dig up. Here we go, get another distribute all. Got Ranger Brass Knuckles. Gotta clean up this graffiti. Can't remember if we can come back and talk to him later or not. Alright, so here we go. This is locked. We can choose him to try lock picking it on easy. And if that doesn't work, nice, so we get a little experience. And now we can kind of come into this area. Take some gloves. There is a key. There we go. That's the key. It's the letter Z. Z lets you see the things you need to, or the things that you can interact with. Feel like we might have missed something over here. No. Over here. I think that's all for now. It's quite a bit of kind of hidden things in this area. Well, that is the first area, and that's our squad. That's giving you a bunch of the backstory of the game. And we will head out into the Wasteland next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.